Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live. It is me, Joey P. Joe P's up here with me, of course, is the Welsh. And it's all of you, the Peanuts and the Cracker Jacks, here on our Twitch, twitch.tv/FantasyPros, live every single day, Monday through Friday, noon Eastern RVD style. That's right. And of course, you can always watch us video on demand on our YouTube channel, Fantasy Pros MLB, where we have the waiver wire video up, the trade video, everything going on right here at your fantasy baseball fingertips. And Welsh, it's a big day because I was wrong, you were wrong. Ronald Acuna is back, baby. Holy crap, that happened fast. I woke up this morning. I was at an event yesterday. I really wasn't checking too much. I got up this morning to get kind of reacclimated to all the baseball comings and goings. And holy cow, Ronald Acuna is back and going to be playing for the Braves today. Welsh, how do you feel?
You just showed your sign of how early you go to bed or stop paying attention to everything, because this was a yesterday thing. This was a late night, not even late night. This is an early evening thing out here. Us West Coast people get all the
family thing to go to. There was also a wedding proposal. There was a lot going on last night. The wine was flowing. No, no, sir. But we also, with the kids last night, caught up on the finale of Survivor. So the rest of the evening was spent. That's their favorite show. So I was watching that. I watched a little quick pitch, but I must have missed the Acuna news like when I was doing it. And this morning got up and went, oh, well, look at that.
Hello. It's very good. Yeah. I mean, I think you set that over under, and I did say the under on the June numbers. So we're here. As soon as he got to AAA and started just getting those baseballs out, you knew that this was going to happen. You knew it was going to be early. I'm not sure I quite thought it was going to be this early, but Friday. This is great. This is great for fantasy. I have a keeper league that I've been waiting for Acuna to get back. It's great for fantasy. It's going to be great for also the ranks, getting him back up. I love, whenever I'm doing these weekly rank adjustments to, get the best players back up there. And really, it's such a weird year last year in what he played of just, figuring out like the bounce back off of the big year, what was going on, some of the weird contact and strikeout stuff. Like, I'm just excited to see this version of Ronald Acuna again, but he is back, and it is good for all of us and the Braves.
It's good for all of us. It's good for the Braves too. The Braves had a really rough April, starting to play a little better. You've seen Austin Riley, you've seen Drake Baldwin kind of be a little injection there. I'm not worried about the Strider start yet. I think this is the buy low window. I thought it was weird he didn't have a rehab start again. I just think he has bad numbers against the Nats historically, and on top of that, it's probably just the feel for pitching. And I'm hoping that he just gets back into his routine and all is well for him going forward. But the Braves need Acuna, and now I think the East gets really interesting. The Mets have hit their first wall after being really good, and of course, everyone's hyperventilating still in New York City about it. It's going to be fine. The pitching's been really good for the Mets. The pitching's been really good for the Phillies. That Phillies lineup just crushing balls everywhere again yesterday. Harper and Schwarber are red hot. Luzardo's been a revelation. So the East is getting really interesting, really fun from a fantasy perspective. I know everybody keeps talking about all year, well, he's not going to run as much, not going to run as much. Okay, we have 100 games left in the season. I'm going to give you a stolen base total. Here we go. You ready?
All right.
Stolen base total for Ronald Acuna, 100 games. Let's go 31.5 over under.
That's a good number. I am going to go under.
Okay.
I'm going to go under. I think we're going to sit at like somewhere between 20 and 30. I could be so wrong about this. He could be hyper aggressive on the base paths. I mean, not stopping, but I do kind of think of like, when Tatis came back and then, didn't really run. And then this year he's like, I just feel healthy. I feel good. Just don't think he's in that space yet where they're going to want to let him go like that. But you know what? They also need to manufacture runs. Ozzie Albies not hitting. Matt Olson doesn't look like Matt Olson fully. So maybe he does run more, but I'm going to take the under 31.5. Are you over or under?
I think it's a good number I set. That's why
it is a good number.
I think I'm going to go under. I think it's more like 29. I think he's right under 30 there. And I think there's going to be more steals than people realize. The people who think he's going to steal 10 bases, I think, are way off base. I really do. Shout out to Black Bug Eye 02 who just subscribed with Prime. Remember, when you subscribe with Prime, what do you get? You get rid of all those ads, and you get to hang out with us and access to the Home Run Call channel. A lot of baseball to get to. I see all the Peanuts and Cracker Jacks. We're going to get to questions today, too. So keep dropping your questions. It's a fun Friday. Thursday's always a light baseball day. We also have a fun thing to look at, too, from The Athletic they put out. But let's get to Jose Altuve 2 home runs for him yesterday. A really good day. Certainly we needed that. He is 6 for his last 15. So good on Jose Altuve there. And also wasn't the only guy who hit 2 home runs, but I want to talk about Nate Eovaldi, who we were discussing yesterday being so good. You can't really believe how good he's been. His ERA after yesterday, he got a unfortunate short end of the stick yesterday against the Yankees, but a 1.6 ERA now after 6 innings where he gave up just a run. He's got 71 strikeouts to just 9 walks. He's been incredible. Carlos Rodon also really good in that game too. Not to be overlooked. 6 scoreless innings. He had a rough start to the season. Rodon now has an ERA of 1.47 with a K per 9 of 10.97 since the middle of April. So after that rough April, you throw those numbers out. Rodon's been brilliant. So Rodon, Eovaldi, who would you rather have rest of season?
Man, I just realized as you were doing that, I had the realization, that you were going with it. So I was just kind of going to start looking because, all right, I'll give you my initial reaction.
I know my answer. I can't wait to hear yours.
And I think I'm going to stick with my initial reaction, and it's Carlos Rodon. And that might be surprising, or maybe that's where you're at with it. The 2.88 ERA, fantastic. The sub-1 whip with him just speaks volumes. I am worried about that K percentage. It's at 10%. It hasn't been like that since 2018, but with it has come elite K percentage, 31%. I really do think that this strikeout rate can continue with him, where I don't quite buy it with Eovaldi. Eovaldi, though, can go deep into games. That team has been underperforming, which really might say a lot for him moving forward. But I just think that Carlos Rodon in that K number is just going to carry you through the season. And I think you could get, if you're talking about a trade, I think you can get Rodon maybe a little bit of a sweetener if you were trading Eovaldi, because I think Eovaldi, with almost into June having like a sub-2 ERA, people are losing their mind. So I think it's a really tough one. I guess the value, you probably have to have Eovaldi like a couple notches above Rodon, but I think rest of season I would take him. What about you?
I would take 2. I would also take Rodon. Okay. I would take him as well because I like where the Yankees are at. I think as Devin Williams pitches better too, that's only good news for the bullpen. We're going to get into that conversation too, because that's intriguing what's going on there. If Devin Williams does get that job back, Weaver's been so untouchable. Do you want to muck around with it? I don't know, but I believe more in the Yankee offense and the Ranger offense too. The Ranger offense still, we're waiting. We're going to get Seager back eventually. You hope that Simeon has something this year, but man, we are deep into it right now. So I've just more faith basically in the Yankees. Let's talk about our faith in George Kirby. 3 2/3 innings yesterday, 5 runs allowed against the Astros. So this was his first start of 2025. He hit Jeremy Pena in this game. Then he got 2 scoreless innings, but after that, things kind of fell apart. So when you look at this outing and you step back from it, 72 pitches, obviously first one out, obviously not the normal, situation here that you would want a guy to make his debut, because it wasn't at the beginning of the season, it was injury. So do you take too much out of this? Do you take nothing out of this? Like, where are you at here with Kirby after what you saw, or maybe didn't see from him yesterday?
There's actually something you didn't see from him, which I think is actually the interesting part. I don't know if you take anything out of it. His velo was where it always is. So that's I think that's a big key. I think it's probably like the number one thing that you're looking for. Kirby's a big command guy. So it's like, what are you going to read out of one start? What are you going to read out of his walks being up a little bit? But the pitch mix is kind of interesting. One little caveat I'll give is the designation of pitches. Let's just throw that out for a second, because, sometimes sinkers and fastballs, they just get designated weirdly, or he's throwing it because if you look, it shows he threw, primarily 4 seams last year, and then sinkers were his second most used pitch. This shows he was just all sinkers. Okay, so he's sinking the ball a little bit more, not throwing 4 seams. There's that. Last year's slider was the 3rd most used pitch, but his cutter was way up this year. And I think that was about the designation. Cutters and sliders can be used. So pitch mix looks different there, but here's the big one. He didn't throw that split finger at all. And that was a pitch that he added last year to try to up his Ks and try to be more of a strikeout pitcher. He didn't throw one in that first start. He threw his changeup. He didn't throw it all last year, and he threw it 12% of the time. So did he scrap the split finger for the changeup? What is that going to end up doing to the strikeout numbers? At the end of the day, don't overreact. But the pitch mix change, Kirby always does this. He's always weird about the stuff. We need to see a couple more of these, and what is going to be more successful at the end of the day, because we don't, he didn't, like I said, he didn't throw the changeup last year. So that split finger, which had a almost 30% whiff rate last year, is this changeup going to be better? It wasn't in this first start. By the way, it got hit .333 batting average against with only a 16% whiff rate on it. So it wasn't a good pitch in this first start. That would be more of my worry than like first start out, he just got kind of banged around or whatever.
Okay. There you go. All right. Let's move on here and hopefully better things ahead for George Kirby as we look. Better days for Christian Yelich, 2 for 3 with a pair of home runs. So we've called him out here on the show last couple days. We said the counting stats were good. At the same time, there's always concerns deep down. Look, if you want to sell Christian Yelich, this is the time. But he's still showing you some power. It's by like a razor thin margin, considering what some of the deeper stats look like. But a good day for Christian Yelich nonetheless. Tanner Bybee, also a good day for him, turning things around. He needed this in the worst way. It was a big victory over the Tigers, too. No slouch of a team. 7 innings, 3.57 ERA now after all said and done, a 1.21 whip, 43 strikeouts to 18 walks. So the strikeout per 9 still not where you want it to be. So this is also your sell away window for Bybee if you want. If you don't like what you've seen so far and you think this is the mirage, this is the start to sell him off of. Brenton Doyle, another guy we called out yesterday, 2 for 3. Boy, we are magic on this show. Give us a player you want us to call out that sucks for your fantasy team. We will fix him.
I think Michael just did. Michael in the chat literally just called out a bunch of players. He's like, can you call out Churio, Ellie, and Langford, please?
Seriously, though, Ellie's killing me in a league, too. I need that. Where's that Ellie hot streak, man? I need to see it. But Brenton Doyle, 5 for 12 since the drop in the order, 4 walks. See, to me, that's when a guy's getting right. I always talk about this. Are you seeing him hit the ball the opposite field? Are you seeing the walks? You're seeing that with Doyle. You're seeing the walks. He's a really intriguing buy low for me because although Welsh does not necessarily call himself a fan of Brenton Doyle, I liked Doyle last year. I was impressed by what I saw, but certainly not what I've seen this year. This is your window if you want to try to pluck him away.
Well,
problems.
I want to say was real quick. You moving past it. You say that, but I don't know if it was on a trade video or the live stream because you're right. I was a huge fader of Brenton Doyle in the draft season, but whatever that show was we just did, I said to buy on him, even though I'm kind of a sell guy on him, that he is so low at the level where people are just want to get out that you've got to consider at this point because he still has a really good profile. He is a big counting stats player, and they're going to keep him at the top of the lineup because it sucks. So this has been a buy opportunity for Doyle, even though I don't.
Well, they did drop him from that top spot, so
yeah, but he can get back to it. I mean, sure, Ryan McMahon's going to get traded.
And Estrada's coming back too soon, so that lineup might be fortified. I want to shout out Sports too, who just subscribed to today with Prime. So I love this. All these people, these newbies, let's go. Come on, the water's warm. Here's a good question from Frav. Which Ray would you rather have rest of season, Taj Bradley or Ryan Pepio? I'd rather have Pepio, Welsh.
I thought he was going to ask about Robbie. I was like,
that's where I thought I was going to. I read it. When I was reading it before, that's how I read it. And then a second view, I was cleaner with that. I go Pepio with this. I just think he's a better pitcher.
I think I want to say Bradley. Bradley 4.61 ERA expected is 3.5. But I need the K's to come out. I mean, Pepio's probably safer. I'd have to look. I'd have to go through Pepio's stuff. You know what? Let's go with Pepio. I love the upside of Bradley.
Refined. I think Taj Bradley is the more exciting arm, but I think as a pitcher, I like what Pepio does more. I like the way he changes speeds. I like the way he is commanding the strike zone better. I think there's less volatility. I think Taj Bradley has more raw ability, but I'm talking like fantasy productivity. I feel more confident in Pepio.
I think it right now, but I also think the upside belongs to Taj Bradley, but 10% walk rate stinks. Also, his split finger, really interesting. You want to kind of deaden this thing almost like a changeup too. And it's like he's added way more spin and velocity on it, and it just doesn't look as good this year. It had a 33% whiff rate. It's 21 this year. Love him to dead that thing out a little bit.
Laser sharp. Is it time to worry about Junior Caminero? Yeah, sure. You can worry. I mean, I don't want to get rid of him right now, but I'm definitely worried.
I think there's some worries on it. One of the things with Caminero that's interesting is if they just released this new information. I've talked about it like last 3 days, but Baseball Savant, they've got attack angle. So if you want to like start analyzing,
are they paying you to talk about attack angle?
No, I'm super interested in that. No, you remember max velocity.
You mention this every single show.
Oh, have I? I'm obsessed with it.
You are obsessed with it.
But one of the things that you really pay attention to on this, the elite hitters like Ohtani and Judge, they've got an attack angle of like 15 degrees, a 15-degree attack angle. 10 to 15, 10 to 18, whatever. They say 5 to 20. That's like the key spot where you really want to be. Elite bat speed with a really good attack angle and just a semi-decent vision creates incredible things. The problem is Junior Caminero has the second best bat speed in all of baseball, but he has a 5-degree attack angle. So that could be affecting some of the quality of contact. So I think that's interesting if you're trying to find like a true reason behind it. But like, is it going to bounce back? Yeah, I think so. His expected batting average is almost 30 points higher. He's still not striking out. It's just a little bit of a quality contact thing. Going to pop next year, but I still believe in Caminero.
I still believe in the player, but it's okay. You can panic. I just don't want you to make a bad decision. Cody Nanaheim has an interesting one. Doyle got dropped in my league. Would you drop Taylor Ward for him? You know, the problem with Ward is those home run totals, right? What is it, the 13 on the year?
I think it just hit his 14th yesterday.
14 as of yesterday, right? Yeah. So that's where I struggle. It's just the home run. I think overall productivity, Doyle is going to give you theoretically better batting average for sure. Steals, run scored, probably less RBI, and probably, or maybe comparable RBI. It is Colorado. You never know if they get going eventually. I don't know. This is a tough one. I struggle with this one. I mean, if you asked me this going into the season, this would have been a slam dunk Doyle for me. So I guess I want to still lean Doyle.
Yeah, who was it? Todd in there said you just can't drop Taylor Ward right now. He's not wrong. I mean, the profile. No, the profile looks great. The expected batting average is over 250. And all of that aside, he's hit 14 homers. He's got 14 homers, and he's got some elite traits in there. I don't know. If you were really chasing stolen bases, I think you could. Those guys are probably a little bit interchangeable, but I don't know how you drop Taylor Ward right now.
Yeah,
I don't know if I could.
It's very difficult to do that. That's for sure. All right, like people wondering about max velocity too, as Max loves his attack angles. We all know that. And Max Velo could be a Tom Cruise type action star instead of adult films. He could be, but that's not as funny, Chief. It's not as funny. Let's get to Jeff Hoffman. Nothing's funny about this if you're a Blue Jay fan. Another blown save for him. The ERA is at 6. He's allowed multiple runs in 3 of his last 8 appearances. We talked about Green. Anybody else you want to talk about? Because I don't think the Blue Jays want to talk about Hoffman right now. He is killing you in fantasy, and he's killing the Blue Jays right now, who don't have a lot of room for error for winning games that are in the palm of their hand. You can't keep blowing games in the 9th inning and keep pace with the Yankees and eventually the Red Sox too. I just don't think it can happen.
No, and I think they got to make a move here at some point. Like this seems like the catalyst for it to happen. So Chad Green, if he's sitting out there, go pick him up.
It's Chad Green time, everybody. And look, just out of curiosity, you want to play the game? Let's play a roster game. Chad Green. What's the roster percentage on CVS? CVS. I want to get a waiver wire claim and a 12-foot receipt on Chad Green. No, what is the CBS roster percentage on Chad Green? Let's take a guess.
I'm going to say 35%.
Lower, Bob.
Oh, it actually is lower. 20.
Lower, Bob.
12.
13.
Oh, it's close.
13. I was surprised. I thought it would be closer to 30 after the last couple games for Hoffman, but apparently not. Apparently not. Which brings us to another bullpen situation, which is the topic of today's Microsoft chasing challengers, everybody. I know you love to chase the challengers. And of course, with Microsoft, the athletes who push boundaries and redefine what's possible, and business decision makers today are turning challenges into opportunities. And Microsoft meets you where you are with tools and guidance to help you make an impact with safe, secure AI solutions. So whatever challenges you're facing, Microsoft empowers you with the expertise to say, bring it on. And in this segment, the challenge is faced by the Yankees bullpen and manager right now, because what do you do with Luke Weaver, who's been absolutely brilliant in this closer role, brilliant for you in big spots last year in the postseason, down the stretch. Right now, he's got 22 innings under his belt, just 6 walks. His whip is at .53. He's got 25 strikeouts, an ERA of .40. So although Devin Williams has been better, it's kind of difficult to say, okay, Luke Weaver, thanks. I appreciate your work in the last couple weeks. Now get back to the 8th inning. I don't think the Yankees can do this, and I don't care what they traded for Devin Williams. Until Luke Weaver proves otherwise, he has been the lockdown guy for you, and I think the Yankees need to just stick with him. So I understand there's prestige and money and trade capital and all these things that go into this. However, at the end of the day, the one thing that has to be accounted for is performance. And the performance of Luke Weaver has been straight up dominant since the end of last season and into the beginning of this one. So you got to leave him right where he is right now, and that's closing games for the New York Yankees. So that's this week's Chasing Challengers segment. Remember, Microsoft AI solutions empower you to take bold steps and make new ideas to help drive your business forward. With Microsoft as your trusted partner, you can navigate your journey with confidence, finding innovative solutions and reaching new possibilities. Visit Microsoft.com/challengers to learn more. Welsh, what's your take on the Yankee bullpen?
I'm going to hold to what I said a while ago. And my idea was Luke Weaver goes into the rotation or goes into the bullpen as a closer, and he holds it for a while. I think I said I think he holds it for a month or two, which could be a surprise for some people, especially at that time. There's a chance he holds it through the season. And I think like his success right now is showing us why it can't. Here's what I do think happens. I think he's going to continue rolling with this, but I think we're going to get a day in the near future where it's like, oh, Luke Weaver's not available, or he had pitched, and that's going to be your opportunity to get Devin Williams in, because Devin Williams has been really solid. He hasn't given up a run since May 5th. So, he's got 2 weeks plus. And I know that might not sound like a long time, but he's got 8 outings in here where he's been clean, lots of strikeouts, stuff looks good. They're going to give him a save opportunity, but it's not going to be in the vein of like Weaver is out. And then I think that'll start to be that test period. But I agree. Luke Weaver has been way too good. You can't just kick him out just for Devin Williams. And if he doesn't have the job at all this year, I wouldn't be surprised if Devin is kicked out of it. But I do think you've got another month or so. And I think in that month, you're going to get 1 or 2 instances where Devin Williams is going to get thrown in. And then the fun is going to start after that of if they decide to make a move.
Well, the fun's already begun in Boston because Ryan Noda is the newest first baseman to come over for depth from the Angels for cash considerations, which is actually one of the films starring Max Velocity, I'm pretty sure, isn't it? Cash considerations.
Max Velocity. Yes.
In cash considerations. I don't look too much into this Ryan Noda deal. Do you? I mean, this is just depth as far as I'm concerned. Do you see it as more?
No, it's depth. I think I will say, I wonder if this is a telling piece of how uncomfortable they are with Christian Campbell, maybe at first, because they've been making these moves and then they bring it. But I think you always need depth. This is like a super depthy move, so I don't read much into it. Maybe he's going to be a good on-field type of coach for Christian Campbell to learn this position, and then we can get Marcelo Mayer.
Here's a fun one. Kiwi Wizard. What's up, Joe and Chris? First time on Twitch, usually listen on Spotify. Welcome, Kiwi Wizard. I traded Edmund, good job, for Senga and Fairbanks earlier this year. Did I fleece myself? No.
Fleece yourself.
Fleece yourself. You've been great. Outfield, I had Trout, Campbell, and Buxton. Well, that's the problem. The problem is the outfield has suffered. But the good news is Trout's on his way back. I think Christian Campbell finds his way back to things. I think he's just out of sorts right now. But I would, if I were you, Kiwi, look for some outfield depth. Maybe this is the exact kind of person that should be looking for a Brenton Doyle right now, right? Your outfield's kind of a mess. Sure. Buy low. He's available in a trade, or maybe he got dropped. That's the kind of guy I'm adding. So, Kiwi, appreciate you. I saw McTunda resubscribe to. We love the peanuts and the Cracker Jacks here. We have the best of the best when it comes to our fan base here on this show. I love all the guys and gals who listen to this show, especially every day. You guys are awesome. Robert Hassel, nice MLB debut for him. Pair of singles, 2 runs, a stolen base, and he scored the winning run. It was a nice moment for Mr. Hassel there. The Athletics plan to promote top outfield prospect Denzel Clark from AAA. So Clark is 25. His slash is 286, 436, 419. Now, no homers there, 21 RBI, 7 steals. So Prospect Guru, Prospect 1, help us about Denzel Clark in the profile.
I'm actually surprised about this one. I thought this would be Colby Thomas with them, or Henry Bolt. They just got a glut of these great outfielders. Henry Bolt played in the AFL last year. Denzel Clark has played in there. Colby Thomas might be the best of that crew. Denzel Clark's super athletic outfielder. Actually, him and Lawrence Butler played in the AFL together a couple years ago. Surprised about the homers. The homers have kind of dissipated, but I think this also might be about Denzel work because he's got like pure raw power, but this might be kind of the Robert Hassel school of changing the type of hitter you are. You guys got a 400 OBP, 7 stolen bases. I think there's more power projection in there. I don't fully trust his ability to make contact, but he's also changing as a hitter, and that little baby ballpark might work well. But my shock was more that Henry Bolt, Colby Thomas, Henry Bolt just almost like fell shy of a cycle the other day. He's been killing it in AAA, and same thing. Colby Thomas is a really complete player. I thought either one of those might have been better, at least fantasy options, but Denzel Clark is probably in the Robert Hassel school of if you're in a super deep league and you just got waste down there and you want to take a shot at it, that ballpark might benefit him a little bit. But I think you're going to have some batting average struggles with Clark.
Carlos Rodriguez, another one of the bright spots at AAA for the Brewers. He got a little taste yesterday. He got his first victory ever in Major League Baseball. That was nice. 3 runs, 5 hits over 3 1/3 innings. He got optioned right again, which everybody thought, because they're just kind of cycling through arms right now until further notice. Let's get to the 3 up and 3 down. Brent Rooker, 3 for 4 with a 2-run homer. Marcelo Ozuna, 3 for 4 with a homer of his own. I wish I had picked Ozuna yesterday instead. I didn't get a home run. I'm mad about that. And Taylor Ward, 3 for 4 with a granny yesterday. 5 ribbies. Huge day for them. It's tough to drop Taylor Ward. And we just talked about him, right? On one of the shows. We had a big Taylor Ward discussion. And look, man, he's under rostered in a lot. I think he was like 40% available still, which was kind of odd, we thought, considering where the home run total was. The downs, Tyler Anderson, he stinks. He walked 6, gave up 5 runs, 4 2/3. Kyle Finnegan, another blown save for him against the Bravos. And AJ Smith-Shawver, not a good night for him. 7 runs, 8 hits, and it also knocked him out of the top spot. He was actually going into the game number 1 on the board on FanDuel for Rookie of the Year in the National League. Baldwin has leapfrogged him. I'm kind of where you are, Welsh. I like Logan Henderson at 7-1 right now. Maybe we just haven't seen the guy yet. Now that Matt Shaw's back up too, he's intriguing. You're getting a great number on him, but so far I've yet to make a heavy investment, but I'm getting very close to wanting to make one in Logan Henderson because he's been so good out of the gate. What do you make of AJ Smith-Shawver's performance last night?
Yeah, it's a bummer because he had been just like lights out. He really had. But it's pushed his ERA up over 3.5. He's got an expected ERA that's pushed 5 so far. He got away with a lot of stuff. It's one of those guys. He had like 3 starts where he'd given up 1 earned run, but walks were there. He got banged around, and everything looks pretty messy right now. So Smith-Shawver kind of went from maybe he really did click and find it, and we give him the benefit of the doubt regardless, to he goes into that range of the Logans and the Will Warrens and Hayden Bird songs as players that maybe they're not so invulnerable, and maybe you could potentially look at streaming. But the Rookie of the Year stuff, I said this not too long ago, but we legit might not have who the NL Rookie of the Year is in the majors right now. Like, that's the level it is. It is such an open playing field.
Down that could make that buzz, because I think that's a guy.
Bubba Chandler. Bubba Chandler would be the number 1 guy. As it is a little bit tougher for pitchers, but the NL has just been blah. Yeah, Dylan Cruz, your number 1. Matt Shaw could definitely take this if he gets going. Drake Baldwin is a catcher. He's got to keep getting the playing time. And from a WAR perspective, he's got it.
Well, he's at plus 380. Logan Henderson 750. Chandler's at 20-1. Dylan Cruz is at 25-1. Dalton Rushing's at 25-1. Matt Shaw 13-1. Smith-Shawver 4.5. And Augustin is 5-1 right now. So,
man, I don't know. I think
that's why I like Logan at 750. I think
Shaw
he's laying in the weeds.
Shaw and Bubba are the 2 that stand out to me if I were making. But I don't know if we have it. I don't think we have any type. You're getting decent odds, but I don't feel confident about any of that.
No, I don't either. It's got to go to somebody, though. Somebody's going to win that thing, and I want to win some money off of it. So let's try to get that. Let's get to the injuries here, because we got a lot of injury news to talk about as well. We've got Logan Gilbert scheduled to throw a simulated game today in Houston, so hopefully all goes well with that. Julio Rodriguez was scratched yesterday with tightness in the back. That's not good. Don't want to see that. Justin Verlander did go to the IL. It's retroactive to the May 19th with that pec strain. Corey Seager is a week away, at least, we've been told. So let's keep our fingers crossed. I don't know. Light a candle in church so we get Corey Seager back in the next 2 weeks. Chase DeLander, 15-day IL. Right forearm tightness. That's typically not a great indicator. Welsh, I know you're a Dolander guy, but that's got to be really bad news for you.
But for Dynasty, Dolander, redraft, the homers were too much of a problem that, he's put himself into the position where he wasn't needed to be justifiably rostered in redraft. So we were already beyond that, but this is brutal because when he got drafted, he was coming off of, I don't want to misspeak. I don't remember if it was Tommy John or not, but it was a bad injury and he didn't pitch. And he was out for a while, and this would be another one. I'm pretty fearful this is going to get him for a while.
Yep, probably will. Kumar Rocker is going to make a rehab start today as well. Carlos Correa is expected to be activated today. And Tario Estrada begins his rehab assignment. We mentioned that. So if you have some second base woes, that's another guy you can just stash this weekend. We want to play the game with him. We want to play the roster game with Estrada. What do you want to say Estrada's roster percentage is, Welsh?
I'll say 24%.
Lower.
18.
14%.
I mean, I think it's a good time to pick him up. He should be up very soon.
Let's go. Yeah. Let's go. That's what we're doing. We're helping you out here. All right, it's time, boys and girls, for everybody's favorite segment. It's time for the best bets
of your Friday
with Joey P and the Welsh. Let's take a look at an enormous number here. The Yankees and the Colorado Rockies. 12 runs. Now, I know it's Clark Schmidt and some jabroni they've just thrown the ball to in Colorado, and I get it. But I think on principle, I'm just going the under here. 12 is a ridiculous number. I'm just gonna go under. I mean, even the Yankees win this one 10-1, still an under. I can't. When you see a number this high, I think it's just the discipline. Remember we talked about on the show a lot where we see a K prop at 8.5. We like to go under on that one because typically that's going to win out more times than not. This is that number for me. When you cross double digits, it gets a little tricky, but 12 is a number where it's just a matter of price enforcing. And of course, the Yankees on their own could score 12. The run total for the Yankees is around 8 right now. Like you couldn't even just do the team total because it was kind of absurd right now. So I'm going to go under -110. That's where I'm going to live. Pablo Lopez at home. I'm going to take him with the 5.5 strikeouts, -118. I'm going to go over on that against Kansas City. And Teoscar Hernandez is going to take the RBI at +170. Good spot here against the Mets. 444 career batting average and 9 at-bats with a 1,300 OPS for Teoscar Hernandez. So I look for him to drive in a run. I also look for Juan Soto at home to get a nice ovation from a crowd and love him and hang on to him and say, don't worry, Juan, we're behind you. And I think Juan responds against the Dodgers this weekend. Kershaw on the mound tonight, too. So that should be entertaining for the Mets and Dodgers. Welsh, what do you have for the people on a fun Friday?
I'm going to go with the Texas Rangers run line. So not money line. It does say run line there. So that's -1.5. So them to win by 2 runs against the Chicago White Sox. We got Tyler Mahle, who's been pretty good. Sean Burke has actually been pretty decent on the mound as well. But I think the White Sox are going to struggle getting to Mahle. The Rangers will not as much. They win by 2. -115. Usually you're going to see plus money on this. So this is really heavily in a market favored for the Texas Rangers. The Mets and the Dodgers, you said Kershaw's on the mound. That should be fun. Yeah, Kershaw's been getting hit hard. He got hit hard across all his minor league assignments. Saw these 17-year-old kids hitting it right to the wall, even though he didn't give up any hits. I think he's going to get hit up in this one by the Mets. So I'm going over on the total runs. Also, just because of the pitching matchup in general, but Mets over 8.5, Mets Dodgers over 8.5. It's big plus money. So plus, did I write it was 150 actually? Now that I'm looking at that, it's not. I don't know where 150. It's -120. So that is a J moment. It is -120 for over 8.5. That would be awesome if it was plus 150. And then I'm going to go with Paul Skeens, 6.5 strikeouts over. That one is a plus money play, but I also think it is plus 110. It is not plus 100, at least I saw. But going against the Brewers, he struck out more than 7 in his last outing. He's getting going.
Close. 110 plus 100.
I guess it's close. I don't know where these numbers came from, but Paul Skeens plus 110. Mets Dodgers is -120 on the total runs, and the Texas Rangers run line. That's mine.
Shout out to McTunda, just gifted 5 subs, and Frozen Coup laid. There's a little space there in between, so I wanted to walk in that bad boy. Resubbed with Prime. Again, resubs, hang out with us. We're not going anywhere. It's wall-to-wall baseball here on the channel. Now, the one thing I will say, we won't be here on Monday. We are taking a day off on Monday. It's Memorial Day. It's for family. It's for barbecues. It's for fun. It's for remembrance, too, of all of our brave men and women in uniform. So we're going to take a day off. Plus, there's a ton of day baseball that we know you want to watch. And who wants to watch us when you can watch baseball instead? In the meantime, if you're going to be betting this weekend, bet responsibly and do it with FantasyPros.com/leading off, where new customers can bet $5, get $250 in bonus bets if you win on FanDuel. Again, that's FantasyPros.com/leading off. And we want you to download the Betting Pros app so you can use incredible tools like the Prop Bet Cheat Sheet that's available right now. It shows you the best value plays every single day. You get daily prop bet value rankings based on projections from our fantasy overlords. You got strikeouts, hits, home runs, you name it, we've got it. Use it now at bettingpros.com/MLB props, or just go to the Betting Pros app. And when you do, download that bad boy, use that promo code leading off, and you get a free week with baseball, with NBA, with NHL, all going strong right now. A free week of the premium tools on Betting Pros. What's better than that? Nothing. So go download the Betting Pros app today. Let's take a look at the home run board. Yesterday, there were some double dips there. Marty still at the top, tied with George at 21. Far out, DJ Osborne and Patsy at 20. Wonky Penguin at 18. Welsh holding strong at 15. I am at 11. I think I might be close to this board by the end of the weekend, Welsh. The Sammy Sosa jersey for pristine auction on the line. And I'm going to take Aaron Judge in Colorado for the weekend because it's not about making friends. It's about making money. And I think Aaron Judge can at least get me 2 this weekend. Where are you at, Welshie? What are you looking for?
Well, it is in perpetuity unless I make the change over the weekend, but definitely today I'm going with Pete Alonso. So Pete Alonso up against Clayton Kershaw. You know, he's dropping an 87-mile-per-hour fastball. Hopefully, the new Pete Alonso, who doesn't want to strike out as much and be a better player, doesn't eat at a lot of those curveballs. But if he gets that fastball in the zone, he should put that thing a mile. So Pete Alonso today, we'll watch the weekend. I got to pick it up because I have not. It is like close to 2 weeks. Wonky was saying can't buy a homer. I can't buy a homer. I'm honestly, we can come back from Memorial Day. I might be off this list. I'm one like good weekend for everybody from getting booted. And I've been on this list for the majority of the year. So it'd be quite sad. Quite sad to get kicked.
JD wants to know what's on the grill on Monday. I'll tell you, JD. Here's the plan right now. I'm going to go to Wegmans, get some stuff there. But on top of that, so we're going to get some chicken. We'll do some marinated chicken, some veggies on the grill. But also, my girlfriend, she goes to this place and gets the most amazing Colombian chorizo. We're going to be putting that on the grill. And my buddy, her sister's now fiance after yesterday. So shout out to them. Congratulations to them. He brings the most amazing churrasco, which is a Latin steak that's just unbelievable. You're just making up words now. It's like a skirt steak that's marinated and seasoned. It's unbelievable. You put it on the grill for like 2 minutes. You flip it around 2 minutes more. Bro, it's one of the best things I've ever had.
I've never heard of these words. You're like, oh, my other cousin's bringing up
You've never heard of chorizo?
I heard of chorizo, but the other one. Yeah, like Brasco, Farascos.
Churrasco used to pitch for the Brewers, didn't he? I'm pretty sure.
I don't know.
Before we go, I want to talk about this because we're a baseball show first and foremost. Fantasy, yes, of course. But The Athletic put out something fun, which was their all-century to quarter-century team, whatever the heck it is, since the year 2000. Before the show, we were talking, as I was depressed, I heard a stat that if you were to make Back to the Future today, the going back in time would be 2005, and that just upset me. And I don't know how you'd make that movie because I don't know how life is really vastly different.
It hasn't.
85 to 65, that's different. Now, not so much. But here you go, the quarter-century team. I like this team. It's Barry Bonds, Mike Trout, Aaron Judge in the outfield. I'm cool with that. The starting pitchers were Verlander, Kershaw, Halladay, Scherzer, and Randy Johnson. Okay, cool with that. DH Ortiz, that makes sense. Yadier Molina is the catcher. Albert Pujols at first base. Altuve at second. Adrian Beltre at third. The Derek Jeter one I kind of struggled with because Marco Scudero, he posted that he has more runs saved at shortstop than Derek Jeter. Yeah. Did you see that? I thought that was great. Mm-hmm. And I love Derek Jeter. He's a great player. He's a winner. 3,000 hits. Hall of Famer, first ballot, lock it up. But is he a better all-around player than Alex Rodriguez?
I was just about to say, I didn't know if you were going to drop Alex in this one. Alex belongs on this list. And he can't say, well, we don't want to put guys on steroids because Barry Bonds is on this list. So it's not that. So if we're just talking about in a vacuum, yeah, Jeter over A-Rod's just straight up dumb. You're right, Wonky. I don't know what the chat thinks about this, but Welsh, what do you think about it? Yeah, no, I as soon as I looked at this, I was trying to think if am I allowed to put Rodriguez at short, or do I have to replace Beltre with Rodriguez? But either way, I do it. I would put Alex
he played
over.
More short in his career, didn't he?
Yeah, I think I can. We can justifiably
because you got all the Seattle years, the Texas years, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I assume that's got to accumulate. I got to go back at the Yankee numbers over
there. I saw somebody posting the DH one that if you wanted to replace, some people might want to replace David Ortiz with Ohtani at this point, but kind of arguing like, are we there yet that you would want Ohtani? Does Ohtani deservedly belong there over Ortiz? I think in what we've seen, I actually do think so because of what he does on the ground as far as how he can run.
There's one more. Now that you said that too, that's actually one more switch that I think I would make. which this might upset a lot of people. Let's slide Aaron Judge over to center field, and let's put Ichiro in right field, for the love of God. I mean, Ichiro.
Yeah, I would have to put Ichiro over.
The fact that Ichiro is not on here. I could even make a case for Ichiro over Aaron Judge. Like, if you want to take Judge and Trout and their high points and have that conversation and fight it out all day, okay. But Ichiro not being on this one is kind of.
And what about Miggy? Multiple people posted Miguel Cabrera. Like, where's Miggy on this list?
Well, that's the thing is, like, you put him over Pujols. I don't think so.
Probably
putting
not.
Putting over Beltre, because he was a third baseman earlier in his career. But
if we're trying to finagle the roster, well, okay, what about DH? If you have Ohtani, Ortiz, or Miggy, who's your DH?
Ohtani, Ortiz, or Miggy.
Miggy didn't really DH enough. So if you're taking
DH towards the end when he was out of shape and he couldn't do it anymore. Look, Miguel Cabrera is a better overall hitter than Ortiz. So if you're just letting me take a free hitter in their prime, I'm going to take Miguel Cabrera. But the Ohtani is another one too, where it's like, how do you not put Ohtani on this team at this point? But
yeah, I would replace Ohtani. I would put Ichiro on. I would put Alex Rodriguez. The only thing is, it's probably right. But when I look at the rotation, I feel like we're missing somebody. I don't know who. I don't know what it is right now. It's not Terry Skubal or anything like that.
Better offensive catchers than Yadier Molina, but not defensively. I mean, Yadi is the.
Oh, you're talking about catcher? Yeah, I was talking about pitching. I'm just saying pitching.
Pitching-wise?
There's one. I feel like we're missing a pitcher out of this, but I don't know.
Well, see, the problem with Pedro Martinez, like his elite is like 98, 99, so he just misses this quarter century cutoff. So I kind of get like that. I kind of understand. It's a weird thing to like cut it off at 2000, but that's also the beginning of Ichiro. Like it's the entire Ichiro career, and to have him on the list or not on this team ahead of Mike Trout and Judge, I think is just kind of foolish.
Yeah.
Like, as great as Judge is and great as they all are. Trout, Whip said you could just put Trout on the IL and keep him on the roster.
Sad.
Oh, that's a good one. I want to leave on that. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. We'll be back again on Tuesday. For the Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Enjoy your holiday weekend. That's always fun. I love the baseball debates, Welsh. It's a good time.
You like the real debates.
I do. I like the fantasy debates. I like the real debates. I just like debate. I'm Italian. I like to argue. You want to fight me about it?
I'll bet you Monday is going to be really, really calm at your Memorial Day barbecue.